Welcome to episode 6 of Hot Facts. Today we're going to be talking about why FHA is such a great resource. And it's a good tie-in from the last episode that we had where we were talking about our I-10 program. And Chris mentioned something that I think may have sent out some reverberations across the world. But our I-10 program does have an FHA component where our borrowers actually have an FHA case number attached to their loan and their appraisal. What does that mean for them? That means that they get taken. What does that mean for them? That means that they get to take advantage of a benefit that FHA offers. We're going to get into that today. I don't want to give away the whole episode with the first line, right, guys? With that, I want to introduce my hosts, Cristian Castillo, Angel Carlos. We're here to help bring awareness to our community, bring some knowledge to our community. So let's get started on FHA, right? Why FHA is a great product. And I'll tell you guys again, right, being the old guy on the team, this product actually saved my career when the economy was crashing, right? Because of all the benefits and how flexible it really is. So I want to get into just some of the nuances that FHA has, some of the components, some of the branches that FHA has, and see how we can identify people, or you can identify yourself through the stuff that we talk about, and see if maybe you are a good fit for FHA,
Nice.
right? Because it's a great program. All right, so let's hit with some of the highlights of FHA, Chris. What could you tell us that you think is pretty cool about FHA? And then we'll jump in with you, Brother Carlos,
Sure.
to see what we've used FHA for. Go ahead, Brother Chris.
So the great thing about FHA more than anything is that it's available to a lot of people, right? And it gives you the opportunity to purchase a home with 3.5% down. Normally, even a lot of people that, are looking to buy properties think that still 20% is needed, right?
Mandatory,
right?
Yeah.
But with FHA, they give you the option to put 3.5% down, right? So that way you can be more liquid, right? And obviously get into a home with not 20%, obviously, right? That's the highlight and the beauty of FHA. And that helps a lot of great people, a lot of first-time home buyers, more than anything, get into homes that otherwise they wouldn't been able to.
And then that what Chris is talking about, right? And you'll be able to touch on this topic, Angel, is that FHA is open whether you want to buy a single family, townhome, or condo, whether you want to buy a 2-unit, a 3-unit, or 4-unit. And then what people don't know is you could buy farmland with FHA as long as the house is on there. Did you know that you could buy commercial with FHA?
Yeah.
Commercial mixed-use buildings can be purchased through FHA with only 3.5% down. That's ridiculous. I'm not thinking about you, in the last few years, how much the economy has changed and people started their own businesses. They have their own shops. So why not have your shop at the first floor and then you live upstairs? And now that property is generating so much income for you. It's a cash cow, right?
Yes.
These are the benefits with some of the stuff that we do with FHA. What else have you what have you seen with FHA, Angel, that you think is pretty cool?
Man, my perspective on it, most of my clientele is FHA, man. It's like most of it's like the young generation, the young buyer. Maybe even if it's them, it's like maybe them or their parents, them or like some family member. But to me, most of my clientele the past 4 years have been like maybe 70%, almost close to 80. Has been FHA. And just, I focus or work a lot in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. So to me, there's always a stigma over there where they're like, oh, but the condo associations, they haven't updated their eligibility and stuff like that. And, it can get very costly and stuff. But over there, you just learn how to adjust and maneuver your way with FHA buyers. And to me, most of my clients, right now we have clienteles as well with FHA qualification stuff. So to me, it's just a matter of what property do you like, what property you're interested in, whether it's investing, whether it's buying a first time home or a condo, a townhouse, regardless. At the end of the day, to me, it's just okay, just let me know the area and then we can take it from there. Just my experience working with mostly FHA, it's helped a lot because now just going back to the I-10 program too, it's easier too when it comes either to just inspections, appraisals, and negotiations more than anything. I think right there, that's what matters to a lot of buyers, that you should really be hitting up a resource that knows how to maneuver with whatever program you're qualified with. Cause I think that's when you're out there in the sea, we're the captain, man. We have to maneuver the boat. So to me, it's like, hey, can you do this when this type of tide wave hits or this type of wave hits or when we encounter something else? Do you know how to maneuver around it? And I feel pretty confident when it's about negotiating with my FHA buyers, whether it's a condo, townhouse, whether we have to face regardless how many HOAs and stuff. I'm pretty confident with it. So to hear that you guys are, freaking experts on top of that, damn, it brings more confidence. So.
Right. So you were saying that you also have used or investors use FHA, right?
Yes.
And that's one of the things that also is very interesting about FHA that it also has its component to do renovation loans. Right?
Correct.
I've been fortunate to do a couple of 2 or 3K loans as well for some of my clients, and they've been the greatest things that I can attest to. I mean, they buy a property, they have the money to fix it, and at the end of the day, they get equity out of that, right? Yes. And we always I've seen a deal. Never have I not seen a deal where they do a renovation loan and their value is not higher than what they bought it or what their loan is at. And that's amazing. You're going right away into your house with equity, right? Mm. Now that you have equity, you have actual money that's 100% yours, right? Yes. That you can use for whatever else you need to do, right? And that's what's amazing about 2 or 3K, that it can set you up for success in the future, right? So that's an awesome thing that 2 or 3K does. And more than anything, Jesus knows about it more than anything, pioneered it as well. So I'll hand it off to him.
So it's interesting that Chris says that. A lot of people stay away from 203K because they say that it has too much paperwork, there's too many players involved. But in order to run an FHA 203K loan effectively, you have to be a project manager because you are dealing with a lot of people. And if you don't have that discipline to have a relationship with folks to make all this work together, then inevitably, yes, it's going to be a very difficult deal, right? Luckily, because I've been in the business so long, I've had an opportunity to help different banks. And here, I actually built a renovation platform. And what that means is that, through my experience of doing renovation loans, because I saw what Chris saw, that it's a great opportunity for people to buy houses in the neighborhood that they want to live in and not have to just buy a home that's broken, right? You could put your own money into it. Plays on a component for me that is very, very personal, where I see neighborhoods get gentrified and it kills me, right? Because the same reason that the neighborhoods are being gentrified is the culture component of it. So now if you move those people out, the culture is gone and the neighborhood isn't the same.
Yeah.
Right. So then what do we do? This program. And this is, instead of gentrification, GENTEfication. My own gente are going to gentrify their neighborhoods to make it the way that they want to, so that they can invest in the properties that they want to, so they can invest in businesses that they want to. And this program gives you the capacity to do that before someone takes your neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
Because it's inevitable that it happens. I live in Pilsen. When I was a kid, we didn't want to go to Pilsen because it was a bad neighborhood. And that's not saying a good thing, right? También nosotros en nuestra comunidad tenemos que invertir y hacer las cosas mejores para que gente no venga y nos quiten nuestras cosas, right? So that's what I feel like what this program can do. It can help people reestablish their roots in their community, right? Oftentimes we neglect our properties because there's a difference between buying and maintaining, right? And this program gives you the capacity to now maintain your property. If you maybe need to do an upgrade, maybe you need new windows, right? Maybe you want to do a roof, maybe whatever it is, so that you can get more rent out of a 4-unit building that you own, right? And you want to upgrade those units and there's equity there, you can do that. And now you can charge more money for your rent. And this thing becomes a little factory that's constantly producing income for you.
Wait, yes. So you're saying that you can have a 203K loan and have a 4-unit?
Correct.
So, wow. So you can renovate all the buildings and get higher rent for that.
Correct.
Wow.
And what's great about the renovation loan, the 203K, is that there's 2 components to it. And I'll use the terms that I learned because I think that they're awesome, right? Baby K. So that's the smaller K. A baby K is anything under anything under $35,000. A baby K is anything under $35,000. What that means is that you can renovate the property inside without having to get a structural engineer, without having to do all kinds of crazy things, right? It could be a cosmetic thing where you don't even need permits, right? And this adds value to your house. This adds a ton of value to your home. Now, on the other component of it, where you were talking about is, and the stuff that we're all talking about, that inevitably this housing crash is going to come, right? And property prices are going to be lower. And the inventory that the banks first release are the dilapidated homes that they don't want to keep on their books because they're not generating any revenue on them, right? So they're willing to let them go at a very deep discount.
Yes.
So what do you do if you don't have the money or you don't have the experience as a renovator, but you found a property that you want in the neighborhood that you want? You take out a 203K. You talk to us, we'll give you a list of general contractors that we work with that are all certified, that all have websites with the Better Business Bureau, and we'll give you the options so that you can renovate that. Right?
It's a good opportunity too for a lot of youngsters here because, to me, just seeing that, I mean, even when we took out our buyer this week as well, I would never have taken out my buyer had I not had your guys' resources to look at a gutted condo. Like, what the hell? Like, I had never been able to just be able to confidently say that to a client. It's like, yeah, let's go check it out. Because to me, if a product doesn't exist, then what am I going to help them with? So I think I want to tell you back before we move forward, like to your thing about gentrification.
Yeah.
You mentioned like, well, had we been informed about these products, the 203Ks and like the renovation style or the first choice programs and stuff, like to me, it's like, man, had we told this to our folks, it's like we literally had this opportunity to slip out of our hands. Not even slip. It's like it will technically slip because it wasn't taken. It slipped out of our hands. And had we just educated our people and just our communities and stuff from that program, or just in general, like the future, like had our teenagers listen to that, it's like, shit, hey, I want to do that when I'm 18. What's that 203K stuff? What's that renovation thing? Oh, I can apply that and I can actually like invest in this property and have all these repairs done. And then also on top of that, just kind of wait it out or either hold or flip, whatever, like, or at the end of the day, it's kind of like, you know, you're building something from a foundation for them, bro. So to me, it's just, it's a money maker. Whoever wants to really just like make money in general in real estate, if you're like, you know, looking to get it started in investing and stuff. So it's really interesting just hearing like the amount of products that you guys are able to offer to help these youngins, you could say, man. So,
and like you said, education is the biggest thing, right? Because like we're going back to the gentrification aspect, you know, like people need to know what signs are coming. And, you know, as a real estate investor or as a real estate professional, we should know those things. Right? When
the line is drawn, man.
Correct.
When the line is drawn,
the community starting to move. When you knew where, like you were saying in your video, a Starbucks pops up, right? The Mariano's comes up, right? There's more art in the streets, right? They're actually fixing the streets now, right? Yeah. There's more programs that are after schools for people, for families and all that stuff. Yeah. Once you start realizing that, it's the time. It's the time to do that. And I want to go back to a quick little story where I saw this happening in Little Village, you know, because I saw the exact same thing that happened in Pilsen. Before I played in Harrison Park on 18th and Damon as a 7-year-old, and there was shooting right in the middle of my game. You know, like it was bad. And now it's you see $1 million properties left and right. Right, you gotta have that foresight, and more than anything, the professional to see it as well. On your team, right? That'd be like, no, I understand it's a little bit rough right now. But in the next couple of years, you're going to be able to capitalize on $800,000.
Oh, yeah.
Like $1 million, right? And how different can you change a person's life if you were the one to let them know that, right?
Yeah.
Something that I was letting everyone know, you know, when I started, it was like, Little Village is started. Because when I had first started in real estate, there was a power plant that was right there.
Yes.
And I heard that they were going to create a Target distribution center right there. Yes. And I saw that, and I knew right away, as soon as that's done, this Little Village is going to change completely. And guess what? It's tore down, and now what? You can't find a property under there less than $300,000.
It's crazy, man.
And it's a Little Village. You know, for my people that know, man, Little Village is not the greatest thing. I love it, though. You already know. I love them. I come from there. And that's why, you know, more than anything, I feel this topic of gentrification so closely to my heart, because now I see it's starting to happen already. There's people that are moving in that are not from our culture, and guess what? We're getting kicked out now. Instead of having those people come in, like Jesus said, we got to educate our people so that we can gentrificate our neighborhood, right? So that's where the education process is. And like that, we gotta let them know, you know, this is an area, right? It's not might be the best, but in a couple of years, you're gonna be able to set your life up. The rest of your life.
So true, man. I agree.
And even right now, the fact that you know that these products exist, Angel, as a realtor, you're already ahead of the game. You mentioned a product called Choice. It's a Choice renovation loan. I'll bet $100 right now that no one knows what that program is. I bet you there's lenders right now that if you call them right now and say, hey, I want to do a Choice renovation loan, they're going to have to Google that thing. And what it is, it's a renovation loan, but through Freddie Mac. And now people don't understand this part, right? There are two big players that always lend out stuff, right? It's Freddie and Fannie. These are the two big players, right? Freddie has Choice renovation, where you can even do an investment if you're an investor, and it's a conventional component. So if you want to buy a property that you want to fix and then, you know, hold it so that you can do an Airbnb rental, or, you know, you want to do something where you do a long-term rental, you can use this program, and we can build 6 months of the payment into your loan. So you're not making a payment on that house until it's done.
So true.
Now you don't have that additional overhead of you having to pay for this mortgage and your mortgage, right? It's ready to go. You rent it out, whatever you want to do with it. Now it has that capacity, right? To continue with the topic of like gentrification, you know, it's very divisive,
right?
And it does have to do with a lot that people don't don't commit to what the purpose is for real estate.
People like hearing it though, man. Like I think it's something we do have to touch on, because even just like I mean, you were mentioning just going specific of a specific neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
But then also just like even when I made that one video a couple of days ago talking about the Starbucks, the Whole Foods and stuff, and Mariano's, right? They're coming up and stuff, and like how these corporations, they implement their studies of certain neighborhoods and stuff, well, that they're gonna come up. And I think just having that just resource of being able to just spread that word, like, yo, you know, you could do this, or maybe you're a youngster or something, but like your uncle, your dad can invest in this, and dude, you can really, how you say, like gentrification, your neighborhood and stuff. And I think even right now, just tying it into with our working relationship, working with our current buyer, you know, it's like the service is so different, right? At the end of the day, yeah, things come in plans, but it's like, you know, could come in 5-10 years, whatever, right? Because things are good, you could say, or things are stable or steady. But over there, it's more like, you know, if you see something and you see an opportunity, it's like you can still help a lot of your buyers or your clients to really make a profit off their investment. And even like this week, right, we were in Schaumburg. What's close to Schaumburg? Arlington Heights. What's close by there? It's the highway 53, Interstate 53. What's coming up by there? Arlington. Well, I mean, what's there right now? Arlington Park, right? Who's suddenly coming here? Who's moving in there? The Bears. So what? Anyone who pushes around the Schaumburg area, Arlington Heights, those suburbs, Rolling Meadows, Palatine, perfect. Who's gonna like exactly? Benefit. Who's gonna make? Yeah, who's gonna benefit from this investment? And to me, just being able to help that, like, you know, helping this buyer right now in his 20s to invest in this, it's like, dude, it's not even here. They haven't even broke ground yet, right? But it's like, still, can you imagine when they do?
Yeah. Exactly. And that's, you have to get ahead of the curve. And then you being a professional and knowing those things, that's what's coming to the neighborhood, right? Helps your borrowers take advantage of everything. Right? Take advantage of the whole picture of actually.
Yes, the whole picture.
You just don't, like you said, you just don't look at the house, right? That's the most disservice that you can do to your client. Yes. Right? Because they're going to be there for 30 years. What if you put them in an area where they are declining, right? And then the property prices go down, and you just wanted to, oh, no, it's like here, it's good. It's got a higher commission. No. Where our commitment here is long term, like you said, right?
Long term,
because that's where referrals is our biggest source of income, our source of business, right? So we want to make sure we do right by people, and we have to look at the whole picture, not just a singular transaction.
Definitely. And those opportunities, man, like when you see them or before they even come up, it's like, it's very hard to see the line drawn over there in the suburbs, you could say.
Sure.
Compared to here, like I could see when the neighborhood, like you know, when we're walking in the neighborhood, we could say, and you know, I was like, damn, the line's drawn here, man. And you said, hey, it's a little rough. Or you could say it's not even that as rough, but it's like someone has to take the hit. And it's sadly, it's not the people who grew up in those neighborhoods that are taking the hit. That are suffering financially maybe, or the other consequences of it. But you know, those people who are moving in and gentrifying those neighborhoods, taking the financial, or like, let's just say like the cultural hit of it, the environment for now, but later on, they're going to take the financial gain from it. So to me, I think it's just recognizing and having those resources to be able to really see when the line is drawn, or captivate or really take opportunity before it happens and stuff. And whether it's in the neighborhoods or in the suburbs, you know, just know that you have professionals here that can recognize both.
Exactly. And the professionalism, like you said, for the products, right? More than anything. And knowing your business, right? Helps you put your borrowers in a great position to succeed, right? Because like you said, if we're going to do that option and the clients are okay with it at the moment of going to a place that maybe not be the safest, right? At the point, but they're going to capitalize on other right? So what we can do is, all right, let's do this for 5 years, just so we can get some equity enough so that way you can put up the money that you have in your equity, right? It's going up. Right. And at that point, you should still have that. We can go ahead and do a conventional loan and refinance onto that. And guess what? Now you have another FHA loan to buy. Guess what? Another 3, 4 in the same area. And guess what? Now you can probably even go sell the house that you had, buy where you want to go. And guess what? Now you're set up with an FHA loan with a 4 unit. And now you have your primary residence with your conventional. Right.
And you said how many times? Do this how many times? So they can what? So for those people can really understand the message, you know, in their terms, where it's like, you do this X amount of times, like 3 times, you can break out of this matrix. You can break out of this, you know, if I like, let's just say your current living situation. So you do this 3 times and you could see a different viewpoint of life and stuff and finances and stuff. So I think it's just the opportunity of being able to just start with 3.5 or just these programs to just build, like renovate or build something like off, like, you know, like let's just say something that maybe someone didn't capitalize on the opportunity, but because you were directed towards the right ears or like the right resources, now you have the opportunity to really, you know, catapult from there. So
yeah, right there. And it goes into that, guys, of like how we can be more forward facing in neighborhoods, right? And you mentioned certain things right now that I can tell you, there's a term that everyone should know, and it's called like your intrinsic motivation, right? That's the reason why anyone does anything, whatever their intrinsic motivator is, right? So if you look at a property or you look at an area where you're buying, look at what a person's intrinsic motivation is to own a home. Obviously, one is to build equity, right? People want to have wealth in there, right? Stability is another thing, right? That you want the stability that your rent's not going to go up like it normally does, right? You want to be able to have a good school for your kids, right? You want to have access to expressways that are close by, right? You want to have some of the amenities that even the city has, right? Yes. So something where you can get to downtown quickly or whatever. If you can identify these things as intrinsic motivators for your customers, you can identify the neighborhoods where this is happening, right? Pilsen was a gold mine. From my condo, I see the Sears Tower every day.
This freaking beautiful view, man.
Right? That's the view. And then here, 2 expressways. And if I'm being honest, 3 expressways, because you have the 90, you have the 55, and then you have the 290. Right? That's all encompassed in that neighborhood. What else do you have? Great university. UIC. What happened there? Jeff Bezos, right? Thanks for your awesome contribution. His wife and him got divorced and they dumped $40 million.
Shout out to Amazon.
Right? Shout out to Amazon. $40 million into that community, right? And then what else does Pilsen have? Awesome art. Pilsen has one of the only Mexican art museums in the country. And guess what she did? She dumped another like $16 million into that fine art museum. And it's a Mexican museum. So these things, you have walking traffic. There's restaurants that are available, right? Not only that, but you also have the train.
Yes,
the train in multiple places in the same neighborhood. You can take it on Damon. You could take it on Wood. All these opportunities for you to be transit now. So then what does that mean for you? Think about a young person that wants to go to school down there. Now they have a great place to be. Yeah. They can get in and out. And then if they go into the city and you live in the suburbs, you could take the green. You could take the brown. You could get back to where you want to go to.
There's always a way to get back. More than anything, like, and I think that's kind of takes to your point where like, dude, there's mobility, man.
Yeah.
More than anything, there's mobility. And that's the thing that if you really want to look for the next opportunity, try to look for those connectors, connect the dots on those things. I mean, just tying it back to like this week, like as well. And I was interviewed by that individual as well. And they were actually from the Chicagoland area. Yeah. So they told me at the end, they were like, "Oh, I'm actually from this area." And then they asked me like, "What neighborhoods do you see potential?" I did mention Pilsen. I did bring it up. And they were like, "Oh shit!" It's like after we got off the call, it's like, "Oh, you know about that shit?" And it's like, "Oh, bro," it's like, you know, it's like even if I'm not from these areas, like and it ties back as well with the Canadian race that there was here with the mayor and stuff. Like to me, it's like, yeah, I didn't go just obviously for myself. It's like because I'm not from these neighborhoods, right? I don't understand these neighborhoods as much as or have that much passion as you guys do, where you guys did grow up in these neighborhoods, los barrios, los esquinas, todo eso, right? Like, but I do understand that I do have clients that have the same passion. Sure. That are going and that are interested in these neighborhoods and are going to be interested in these neighborhoods, man. Yep. So to me, it's more like just being on the pulse of things, like how we mentioned early on. Like you have to be on the pulse of things. And to me, it's like I always want to make sure that people are exposed to that opportunity more than anything, the resource, bro. So, and now having these resources even more available, it's like, fuck, bro, I'm going to spread the word, man. So.
And that component of education, again, is something that we touch on, right? And what really like sparked right now, something that you were saying is like, there's a lot of young kids that are understanding this a little bit different now. Mm-hmm. Last year, I had an opportunity to speak in Roosevelt University to a group of kids. And what they initially wanted me to speak about was checking and savings accounts. And while there's a lot of value in that, you know, that's something that you can pretty easily find on the internet, right? So I asked them if they didn't mind if I spoke to them about how you can predict your financial future. Mm-hmm. And it was this crazy experience to talk to the kids about how you can build credit now, even though you're not working. How if your parents have the capacity to pay you, you know, for doing chores around the house or whatever, you can file taxes now. Because guess what? You only need to be 18 to buy a house. You only need to be 18 to buy a 4-unit building, right? So now we'll do some numbers because me and Angel were talking a little bit about the benefit of like this 4 units. So I'm going to give you guys a hack about this 3 that we talked about, right? So the way that it works is like this, right? So say that you have a 4-unit building, right? Each one of the units is generating between $1,500, say let's just say $1,500 to be safe. So that's $6,000 that the unit is generating. If your payment on that same property is only $4,000 and you deposit those additional $2,000 into your principal, you will never pay a 30-year term and you will never pay that high interest rate. You'll pay off the house in 5 years. 5 years, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. At 23 years old, you can have an asset that's producing income for you, and you can leverage to then go buy more assets. Or you could do like Chris's client, who bought a house, flipped it, and now is living his best life at 22 years old in Spain. This is a real game that you guys can do if you're disciplined and you follow the path that we're going to set before you. This is how renovation loans can really help. We're running a little bit behind on the episode because we got into this passionate conversation about GENTEfication and gentrification. But I want to talk to you guys just real quick about a few other programs that we have on the renovation side. One is called a home style renovation. That's a conventional answer. That's Fannie's conventional answer to FHA's 203K and Freddie's Choice Loan. The good thing about that program is that it's also available for investors, primary residents as well, right? So you as an investor, you want to hold on to some assets because you want to build a nice little portfolio, whether you want Airbnb rentals or traditional rentals. This product can help you with that. And then you think about the things that you can renovate in the property so that it looks good, right? These are the opportunities that are in front of you right now. People are taking advantage of them on a much bigger scale, right? That's why you see new developments coming up. You can do it at your level, and then you can build out your little empire so that, you know, you have some assets and some generating income, right?
Yes.
With that being said, we're going to wrap up the episode. We have Brother Angel hit us with the hot facts, and then Chris, let us know what's coming next on our next episode, brother.
Well, the hot facts for this episode, just so you know, just know that there's renovation style or renovation programs that can really help any young buyer, or even if you are interested just in like getting started or investing in real estate, just know that there's options for sure. And having the right professional as well, like highlighting the topics, like that recognizes when opportunity is there before it actually happens and before it's too late to get in. So another thing that another hot fact that I really wanted to end with is you brought it up how you can start this off as young as 18 years old, right? Just so you guys know, it was in 2020 or I believe in 2021 where, when I got licensed in 2019, you had to be 21 years old. Mm-hmm. So, at the end of the day, the 18 years old, you have to be 18 years old to sign a contract, right? To legally get into a contract and, like pretty much buy a home. So just know that you're able to like be or buy or purchase a property way much more younger than you are to be a realtor. Now you could be a realtor if you're 18, but at the time, just so you know, opportunity was there.
Yeah.
Had I known that before, who knows, right? But what I'm saying is that, I could have gotten started investing first besides me getting my license at 21. Correct. So just so you guys know that, we learn our lessons like that. But at the end of the day, I feel like just take advantage of opportunity for sure when it's there. So that's the hot fact of the episode.
I think that was a recruiting call for Angel. So you want to buy a house, you're 18 years old, we'll help you, and then you'll be a realtor. Come work with us.
Hell yeah.
Brother Chris, before we wrap up that next part, there's something that I want to touch real quick, right? Because there are folks who maybe don't fit the traditional box, right, of the home style renovation, or maybe they own multiple properties already. Maybe this person is already a seasoned investor, right? And they've done it before. Chris has an ace up his sleeve that he's helped our clients with before that doesn't require all the same traditional stuff. Let him know, Chris, what are you doing? And tell us what's coming for the next episode.
So yes, a lot of good things coming through. And you're going to have to tune in next week so you guys learn how to flip bricks the legal way.